Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the August 12th, 2024 Plan Commission meeting. Planner Steele, could I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Earl Carpenter.
Present.
Amanda Cope.
Here.
Josh Fletcher. Tina King.
Present.
Jack Varana.
Here.
Jennifer Sharkey.
Present.
Brant Moore.
Here.
Jeff Peters. Susan Ralston.
Here.
Steve White. Nick Sutton.
Here.
Austin Boudreau, present.
We have a quorum. Okay, so everyone received in their packet the minutes from last meeting. Does anybody have any corrections to the minutes? And if none, then may I have a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the past minutes.
Okay. And may I have a second? And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? And do we have any old business?
No business for this.
Okay. We will jump right into the new business. So I'll let Planner Steele or. Okay. All right.
All right, first on the agenda this evening is case number 2024 PC 08001. The applicant Trent Custer is requesting rezone of his property located at 3076 South, 150 West Angola, located in our ETJ. The current zoning is R1, low density single family residential, proposing the rezone to agricultural district. Current use is for a dwelling, single family detached, and will continue that use. Hearing date is today's date, August 12th, 2024. Legal notice appeared in the Herald Republican on August 2nd. And 7 property owners within 300 feet of his property were sent mailings on August 1st. Applies to Title 18 of our EDO and Indiana Code Zoning Ordinance 36-7-4-600 series. The project is not located within a floodplain. The property described above is a 10-acre property located along 150 West, just south of 300 South, near the southernmost border of our extraterritorial jurisdiction. The property consists solely of a 17, let me get on the staff report 1 second, I'm sorry. The property consists of dwelling in single-family detached home. Applicant wishes to rezone the property to agricultural to embrace development standards specific to the district for an accessory structure. Next, we'll shift into some aerial images of the applicant's property. The first is from the southwest corner looking northeast of this 10-acre parcel. Next is moving north along 150 West, looking directly east. And furthermore, looking southeast and then northwest. Applicable code, if you want to review them, that is everything that is permittable inside the agricultural district that he is seeking. Again, he is specific at this time for an accessory structure. Contextual zoning and land use, as mentioned, the property is zoned R1, low density single family residential. The surrounding uses and zoning include the majority zoned agricultural with scattered low density single family residential. East along US Highway 27, houses of the Ashton properties or Grant properties is zoned manufactured home. Speaks to our comprehensive plan objective 1.2. Of our land classification plan and plan map, as the majority of the area is zoned agricultural. And as of today's meeting, we've received no public input as a result of the public notices being sent. In conclusion, staff is supportive of the request. The petitioner's 10-acre parcel more than meets all development standard requirements as outlined under the agricultural district and is consistent with the surrounding zoning in both the ETJ and Steuben County. Additionally, the zoning amendment would not negatively impact the development of the surrounding area. Any questions for staff?
Does that affect it's just the zoning within the ETJ, so it doesn't change the ETJ anyway, right?
No, it's just the specific zoning to make sure it meets our standards.
I was just looking on GIS there. I didn't realize the ETJ went out that far south.
Yep. So just north.
Anything on the map?
Yeah.
Is there anything on the GIS that shows the borders?
You can, when you're on the Steuben County GIS, you can click on zoning towards the bottom and you can select zoning for area and you'll see Angola zoning. Click on planning tab and then you click on Angola zoning and it'll show you approximate, I'd say it's majority accurate, but there could be some alteration differences.
On the
from
drawing
ours.
that Brett has here, often you'll see that where this stops with the ag, beyond that is Steuben County, not ETJ.
This is-
Steuben County, that.
This is a screenshot that I provided in the staff report. This is from our GIS software that we use here in the city. And you can see everything that's the true aerial, that is the county, and you can, everything that's the green and yellow and brown, that is our zoning within our city limits and ETJ, how it will look on us.
No other questions?
I'm sorry? This parcel will be right here at my cursor, this yellow is outlined. Yep.
Highlighted on this aerial here, that's his.
Any other questions of staff? Is there anyone here that would like to speak on behalf of the project? If so, please state your name and your address, and if you have not, we do need to have you sign in for the minutes, please.
I'm Trent Custer, the property owner. I had approached Brett about a month ago on getting permits to put up an accessory building. We found out at that time that it was zoned R1. Not sure when that happened because when I purchased it 20 years ago, I was a ag. So just trying to get that corrected to put up an additional structure. So any questions for me? Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to speak against the project? Or for or against, yes. Okay. And I guess we will go on to discussion. Is there any discussion amongst the panel? Or?
This will be the petitioner seeking recommendation to go to council for zoning amendment change.
Still have to permits for his building, but this is just specific.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with his request for the accessory structures, what Rita was saying. That will come once zoning is complete at the council level. That's when we'll receive those plans and go through that permitting. This is strictly for the rezoning change of his parcel.
Make a motion to move forward with a favorable recommendation to council.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, motion has passed.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to our next case.
Okay. Next this evening is a development plan, case number 2024 PC 08002. The applicant owner is Trine University. The location is 315 Summit Street. The current zoning is UV, University District. The hearing date is today's date, August 12th. Notices appeared in the Herald Republican on August 2nd. And 2 property owners within 300 feet of the project were sent a notice on August 1st. Applicable code is Title 18 of our UDO and Development Plan through Indiana Code 36-7-4 and 1400 series. The staff's recommendation is conditional approval. Trine University has experienced substantial growth in recent years, resulting in significant increase in student enrollment. This growth has placed a considerable strain on the existing on-campus housing infrastructure, creating a pressing need for additional student accommodations. Some residence halls are in the state of disrepair due to age or require significant renovations. Currently, Conrad and Allwall Hall, shown on the map below, number 15, which were once residence hall, are now exclusively occupied by campus safety operations. To address this issue, the university plans to demolish the existing Conrad Hall and Allwood Hall and make way for a new residence hall for that site. Below, you can see the quick proposed location over them and then the overall aerial image to see the existing structures on site. Moving into the site plan, Trine University is proposing the construction of a 3-story, approximately 55,496 square foot residence hall to accommodate 197 students and 52 rooms. The first floor will feature a spacious lobby area equipped with a fitness room, kitchenette, and lounge. The second and third floors will mirror each other, dedicated solely for student rooms. To comply with the Angola Unified Development Ordinance, the UDO, the project includes plans to enclose existing unenclosed dumpsters in a secure structure. The university privately owns all utilities, water, and sewer serving the residence hall. Erosion and sediment controls have been submitted to Indiana Department of Environmental Management, IDEM. The proposed development will utilize existing parking stalls from the previous residence hall and the newly designated parking areas as approved by the Planning Commission on July 8th. Below, you'll see the quick site plan of the property, and in the northeast, or the top right on the paper, you'll see the dumpster enclosure where they sit today. Next, to speak to landscaping, the property currently has limited landscaping with only 5 trees and a variety of shrubs placed around the existing residence halls. The plan aims to significantly embrace the property's aesthetic appeal by increasing the quality of diverse range of trees and shrubs. All landscaping does not interfere with utilities and easements. Next will be a series of 3 images to show the existing Conrad and Allwood halls. The first is from the intersection looking northeast from Summit and Thunder, and then moving around the property in a clockwise motion. Contextual zoning, as mentioned, the property is zoned UV, University District. To the north is Trine University, and a little bit further is traditional residential. And then to the east, south, and west is all Trine University. The project speaks to the comprehensive plan. Principle 1, manage community form and growth. Objective 1.5, strongly encourage redevelopment of underutilized vacant abandoned structures and lots. And objective 2.4, continue to support the initiatives of Trine University as a valued and critical community partner. As of today's date, we have not received any form of communication written. We have spoke to a handful of people on the phone, this inquiry, and it's all positive communication to us about location and things of that nature of the residence hall. In conclusion, staff is supportive of the request. Development in this property aligns with the university's growth objectives and addresses the critical need for additional student housing. Moreover, the proposed location avoids the needs for development standard variances. Staff recommends conditional approval of the project that all plan review and routing comments are adequately addressed. Any questions for staff?
I just have one, I think, page 4 up on the plan there. One more. Yes. Keep going up just a little, okay. So it looks like there's going to be the addition of curb ramps on that northwest corner. Yep, keep going.
Right here?
Yep. Will there be a receiving curb ramp on this other side right there? Yeah, because I think the existing sidewalk does not have one. So I was curious, or maybe that's during the plan review, I'm not sure.
I would assume that would be during plan review.
Okay.
And if I may, I'd ask Amanda on that one, if anything, I can't recall from what I've seen, but
Yeah, that would be something we would address in the plan review.
Okay.
We're just not quite there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we good. Thank you for pointing that out.
Oh.
Sure, Scott will get that.
Thank you.
It's just another amendment. I don't know.
any further questions for staff?
Is there anyone here who would like to speak on behalf of the project? Okay, please state your name and address.
Sure, I'm Mike Bach, Pine University. Appreciate your consideration tonight. I think everything's in order, so again, appreciate your help as we are excited to get started on this next project. Any question?
I have a question. So compared to what the current housing is and the new projected development, what's the difference in number of students that it will be able to hold? I'm just curious.
The new building?
Yeah, the new building as opposed to the old.
Yeah, the new building will hold 197. The existing structure holds approximately 100. I'm not sure the exact number, but somewhere in that range, about 50 beds each building.
Okay, so
In Conrad.
approximately doubling
Yes,
roughly.
yes.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Bach?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak against the project that's here? Or against? Sorry. I forget the four. So, if not, then we'll go ahead and close this portion of the project. I guess discussion. Yeah, we'll do the findings of fact now.
Any discussion?
Discussion?
What is this, a conditional approval?
I'm sorry?
What is this, a conditional approval?
The condition would be that all of our routing comments are adequately addressed before moving to the next state of permitting and things of that nature. So once we get our comments back on like the plan review, we review everything in a star satisfaction, then we'll approve. So there's things on there to like landscaping, the truly point out, like asking where the parking will be designated in that for that development, just some literature and things of that nature. Ready for the findings?
Yes, please.
Okay. Moving on to the finding of facts for the Trine University Residence Hall and the trash receptacle for case number 2024 PC 08002 development plan. Number one, the development plan is or is not consistent with the City of Angola's comprehensive plan.
Yes.
Staff proposes the finding that it's coincides with objectives 1.5 and 2.4 of our comprehensive plan. Agree or disagree? Number two, the development plan does or does not satisfy the applicable development standards of Division 2 of this title zoning districts. Staff proposes the findings that once all plan review and routing comments are adequately addressed and that the use of residence hall is permitted within the UV zoning district. Number three, the development plan does or does not satisfy the applicable standards of Division 6 of this title, development standards.
Yes.
Staff proposes the finding that The development plan does or will satisfy the applicable standards of this title, development standards such as parking, lighting, and landscaping, et cetera, once all plan review and routing comments are adequately addressed. Number 4, the development plan does or does not satisfy all applicable provisions of this title. Staff provides the finding that the development plan does or will satisfy the applicable provisions other of this title once all plan review and routing comments are adequately addressed. And lastly, number 5, the development plan does or does not satisfy the construction requirements of the City of Angola's construction standards. Staff proposes the finding that once all plan review routing comments are adequately addressed.
With that in mind, may I have a motion, please, to approve? Make motion to approve.
With conditions.
With conditions. Conditions.
Approve with condition.
And second? Okay. All in favor? And those opposed? Motion has passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the final case for this evening. So let Brett continue. With a drink.
Okay, next for this evening is development plan, case number 2024, PC 08003. The applicant owner is a Menard Inc. The location is the Menard subdivision, lot 5. The current zoning is C2. Hearing date is today's date, August 12th. Legal notices appeared in the Herald Republican on August 2nd, and 13 property owners within 300 feet were mailed the legal notices on August 1st. Applicable code is Title 18 of the UDO and Indiana Code Development Plan 36-7-4-1400 series. Floodplain status is not located within a floodplain, and staff recommends conditional approval. Menards Retail was initially built in the early 2000s, recognizing the potential for commercial expansion opportunities. The company established the Menard subdivision in February of 2024 to capitalize on opportunities presented by their vacant land. Today, Menard Inc. is submitting a proposal to develop 426 self-storage units on Lot 5, indicated in red on the image to the right of the Menard subdivision. This elongated 5.6 acre parcel is situated between the Steuben County Trail and the existing Menard retail store. Access to the proposed self-storage facility would be via Menard's Drive. Menards is expanding their business operations across the Midwest to include self-storage as the company currently operates 25 self-storage facilities in select targeted areas. Menards will continue to own and manage these properties. Variances, below you'll see variances approved by the BZA on May 28th. Those include the maximum primary structures to permit 15, eliminate architectural standards for long facades on the north, east, and south facade, and then permit fence height to 10 feet. Next, the site plan. Menards proposes constructing 15 primary buildings containing a total of 429 self-storage units. These units will vary in size, including a 10 by 10, 10 by 15, 10 by 20, and 12 by 15 foot dimensions. The facility entrance will feature 2 large overhead doors designated for entry and exit. Access will be implemented through a keypad system. All interior roadways within the facility will be paved with asphalt. Signage for the facility will be addressed in a separate permit process. During the initial construction of the Menards retail store in the early 2000s, engineers designed the stormwater detention system with the capacity to manage runoff from the entire, or from the store itself, as well as any potential future buildings constructed on their adjacent vacant land, all part of the Menard subdivision. Landscaping plan incorporates a mix of 53 shrubs and 41 trees to provide screening towards the main corridor of North Wayne Street and establishes a sufficient buffer between the residential area and the southeast corner of the site and the surrounding neighborhood. Next, we'll move into aerial images of the site on the south side of the store as it sits today, moving in a counterclockwise motion. Architectural zoning is C2, medium to large, general commercial district. Surrounding land uses to the north, Coles and commercial businesses, residential, and the Glendarren Golf Course. To the east is vacant agricultural land in Glendarren Hills Section 1 addition. To the south, Bell Tire, Meyer, Applebee's, Starbucks, and a few residential dwellings. And to the west is Best Deal Autos, Wendy's, Eclectic Room, and Top Shelf. Project speaks to the comprehensive plan, objective 1.5, strongly encourage redevelopment of underutilized lots, and 1.7, encourage infill development to direct commercial growth in city limits. Next, the change on the staff report. About an hour or so ago, I did receive a phone call from the property owner to the east. The owner, Don Wise, owns 22 acres, currently zoned agricultural. He was concerned about not seeing any landscaping on the site plan on that side, to where if he ever were to develop residential on his property, there's no landscaping protection there, and was wanting to know if measures could be taken to provide some trees to work with him, be good neighbors. It's not a requirement for buffer yard plantings from C2 to agricultural, but he was just wanting to know if the board or applicant or petitioner could consider planting some trees on that site. And again, that was a phone communication. He could not make the meeting this evening. In conclusion, staff is encouraged to see the potential development of a shovel-ready site within the community. The proposed self-storage facility aligns with permitted uses in C2. The facility's design effectively capitalizes on a site's elongated lot, creating a complementary development to the petitioner's existing retail store. Additionally, proper approval has been obtained by the Angola Board of Zoning Appeals. Any questions for staff?
So I assume you're here to speak on behalf of Menard. So
I am.
please tell us your name and address, please.
My name is Pat Wewald. I'm a real estate representative for Menard Inc., 5101 Menard Drive, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So I'm going to kind of give you guys a little bit of a history of kind of how we got here, why Angola, how we operate, and then kind of a little bit on our site design and how we got to where we sit today. So in the early 2000s, Menards went through a pretty substantial renovation of our store footprint, which kind of led us to a couple of our existing store sites that we couldn't actually expand in our current footprint and with the land that we owned. So this left us in a couple different markets where we had to actually relocate our existing stores within those markets. And that naturally left us with a couple big boxes that we tried to market for a number of years, and then kind of were left with having something that we couldn't sell and something that we didn't really know what to do with. And to utilize those boxes, we started brainstorming ideas, and they landed on self-storage operations, just because a lot of the old zoning for our stores actually allowed self-storage to be used, similar to the Angola here. And that really ended up being a really great and compatible business operation with our stores. We operate them in tangent with each other. Of the 25 we operate, all of them are either within a block or immediately adjacent to our existing store sites. So as we built those, we evaluated other opportunities within our footprints to expand that operation. And as Brett said, we currently have 25 facilities operating and counting. I think we have 14 under construction this year. So as we started to evaluate our properties, we had a couple different criteria that we looked for. Among those, we identified lots that are challenges for development. And then additionally, we looked at lots that would be beneficial for Menards to keep under our current ownership. So with this lot, it's located between the Menards store to the north and then the trail and pond. The trail is in the pond to the south. And it's a longer lot that kind of creates a little more of a challenge for people to look at and want to develop. And so we identified it for the development criteria. And then for this lot in particular, we do like to keep certain properties under Menards ownership because, as I stated before, we had the problem of needing to expand our store operations about 15 years ago. And so we like to keep some of those properties under our control so we don't have to go try and buy them back from users later on. So with this lot south of us, in the wetlands to the north, this is kind of the natural direction we would have to use to expand. So we would want to keep this underneath our current ownership and development criteria. So how we operate these properties is we have a pretty cohesive tandem operation between our store sites and our corporate offices. We have a dedicated store employee who operates all the day-to-day, communicating face-to-face with tenants, doing any of the red lock for delinquent tenants and kind of running the maintenance of the facilities. They report directly to the store manager, so he's very involved in the store operations. And then we also operate from the corporate side. Corporate side handles customer service, leasing, all of the kind of the day-to-day, phone calls, minutiae, so we don't overload the one store employee that runs all of that. And with the Menards name on the side of the building, we try to have the same standard of excellence that we expect out of our stores, out of these operations as well. So back to the store design and to design of the lot and the site. We chose this lot because, again, it's adjacent to the store. We want to keep it under Menards ownership, but it's also a lot that's no public frontage. It's on our private drive. And so this allowed us to retain the more developable frontage lots that folks like to see along the public roadways as still on the market. We develop these facilities to have all of our units inwards, and that gives us a couple different things. It gives extra security because we have all of the walled-in, fenced-in facility. There's no chain link fences around the facility. The backs of the units actually act as the buffer to the outside. And then also, you don't see all the overhead doors. It's one cohesive and more appealing facade to look at. And then this also gets us a very low intensity, low traffic, and low noise use that buffers us from the additional residential properties to the south and to the east. So that's how we got here. How we operate. It's our history. Any questions you guys have for me?
Do you have any thoughts on the comment that they had about buffering to the east?
I unfortunately have very little power to answer that question, but I can certainly bring that back to my team, the decision makers back at Menards. It's the first I've heard of that. I haven't had a chance to talk with Brett about that comment yet. So I'll have that conversation, be able to talk with Brett about that in the future.
Thank you.
So I guess the gaps in between the buildings, will that have fencing?
Yes, so some of those will have fencing, some of them will have snow gates to push snow out because it's one of our considerations is making sure that we can get to a lot of our facilities. But yes, they will all have a buffer between outside, and that's part of the security aspect of it.
Okay. So that's actually a snow fencing. So it's anticipating kind of pushing that snow to the south, it looks like.
Yeah, I think the primary push-out point will be on the eastern side where we've got that kind of curve of the trail. There'll be a spot to pile there. And then when it gets too high on the outside, we typically will push it out the main entrance and stack it where the store would stack the snow.
Okay. As long as it's not getting pushed onto the trail, I suppose.
Yep, we will certainly not be doing that.
Is there going to be any outside storage allowed, or is everything going to be?
This facility, no. At some of our facilities, we have outdoor parking, but this one is strictly inside the unit storage. So it would just be the warehousing, mini warehousing unit storage.
When I look at this picture that we have right here, I imagine that there is a roof over the whole thing, but that isn't necessarily the way it is.
Yeah, no, that there's, you enter the site, if you go to the site plan, you kind of enter it, and then you have asphalt running between the buildings, and then all the buildings themselves have roofs, correct?
Oh, okay.
But yes, there's not like a one cohesive roof over the whole structure. It's all outdoor warehousing.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was wondering how the snow was to be involved in there, if there was a roof over the whole thing. Okay.
I got a question that was called in and Brent was trying to address. Don Weiss was concerned about his property versus coming next to yours. So what, he didn't seem to complain, but he called asking a question. My question would be, would you be willing to work with him if there is a problem?
Absolutely, yes. And we like to have the relationship with neighbors, and we've certainly in the past added buffering in circumstances that warrant it, so we can have that conversation. But I just don't really have the power to really have that conversation right now without bringing it to the folks.
You're willing to work with him,
Absolutely, yes. We want to make sure.
that's my question.
One last one for me. I know there's the existing parking lot for Menard store. There's a little drive. Is it anticipated to ever connect that drive into?
No, we didn't do it that way because of the grade change between the Menard store and this lot. I think it's like about a 9-foot drop between that. And so just going in and next, like, it just logistically didn't work out to get that up there. We're about folks sliding down into the facility, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Yes, we will. Any discussion amongst ourselves? Okay, I guess we'll have to find any more time. Oh, anyone to speak for? There's no one else here.
All right, we'll move on to the finding of fact for the Menard Self-Storage Facility, case number 2024 PC 08003. Development plan is or is not consistent with the City of Angola's comprehensive plan.
It is.
Staff proposes the finding that because of objectives 1.5 and 1.7, it speaks to the comprehensive plan. Number 2, the development plan does or does not satisfy the applicable development standards of Division 2 of this title, zoning districts. Staff proposes the finding that it does once all plan review and routing comments are adequately addressed. The use of self-storage facility is a permitted C2 zoning district use. Number 3, the development plan does or does not satisfy the applicable standards of Division 6 of this title, development standards. Staff proposes the findings that once all lighting, landscaping, et cetera, are approved once all plan review and routing comments are adequately addressed. Additionally, the BZA approved variances. Number 4, the development plan does or does not satisfy all applicable provisions of this title. Staff proposes the finding that once all plan reviewed and routing comments are adequately addressed. Lastly, number 5, the development plan does or does not satisfy the construction requirements of the City of Angola's construction standards. Staff proposes the finding that development does or will satisfy the applicable construction requirements of the City of Angola's construction standards once all plan review and routing comments are adequately addressed.
May I please have a motion to approve? With condition.
I'll do it again.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. That is all we had on the agenda tonight, unless there's anything else that has come in since.
No, that is it for this evening. There will be a meeting next month. I believe it's September 9th. A couple of agenda items. No, BZA has been canceled.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
There you go.
Thank you.